One thing I just want to bounce this off you super quick to see what you think, but man, I just can't get this one thing out of my head. So I have this court-appointed attorney. A couple months ago, he had started hearing that I was doing the evidence of jurisdiction in my traffic case, but not in the 420 case, which is what he was on with me. I wouldn't fill him in on my strategies. I would just be like, oh yeah, well I'm running the show and I'm pro se according to them and you're standby, so don't worry, just sit tight. If I need you, I'll call you, and that was it. He kind of got wind of it, and he made a note to before court started to try and ask me what I was going to do this particular hearing. And I'm like, just straight up told him, well, I'm just not going to tell you. And he's like, well, why not? And I said, well, because I've told you this before. It's nothing personal. I just think I have my best interests and you have your best interests, and that's just not always the same. I just don't think it's in my best interest. So anyway, he goes like, well, I think it is, blah, blah. The point of this is this one moment I just can't get out of my head. I'm in the middle of the hearing. I'm doing my shit, and it's like 3 or 4 minutes in, maybe more, I don't know, 5. And then all of a sudden, the moment comes where here it is. I'm now introducing the meat and potatoes to this case too, when I never had before on purpose, because I'd always been trying to get to the jury. And then when I found out they were never going to allow that and just refiled charges to make a jury impossible and just lower the threat to me, still make it 30 days, which is an insane threat. Once I found that out and I decided, okay, I'm no longer trying to get a jury. Now I'm just going to go with Mark Stevens. So the moment came, boom, out comes the meat and potatoes. Does the prosecutor submitted evidence of jurisdiction? Yes or no? And my lawyer pops up. He almost leaped up and was the next person to talk, didn't even let anyone else finish, and said, I request to be removed from this case on his own when we had never before even rolled that around. Once he heard I challenge the evidence of jurisdiction whether the prosecutor hasn't submitted it or not, he jumped up as standby counsel. And I'm just sitting here going, what the fuck? Like, what is it that these lawyers, do they just know as soon as anybody goes here? It's like they know the hustle route, and as soon as anybody's lucky enough to get on it, they just have to show that they had nothing to do with it. I did not influence this, and I want off of it. I want nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still a good church-going member. I had nothing to do with this blasphemy. You know? Why would he do that? That is uncharacteristic, and the only reason is he knows the hustle, and he's saving his career, and that's spooky as shit, and I just can't get it out of my head. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but...
Sounds like a pretty good explanation. He's clearly afraid to be involved in any fashion.
Even as standby.